Hey everybody, welcome back to another business analysis video. If you're new here, I'm Pippa and I help business analysts become business analysts. You're already a business analyst, believe it or not, but I help you become a business analyst in the true sense of it, right? So whether you're just starting out or experienced, I help you to navigate your career in business analysis with confidence. All right. So today I want to talk about setting up a contract, setting up a limited company as a contractor. But first, I kind of want to talk about the difference between permanent jobs and contracting jobs, right? If you want to get more detail, hey, I didn't iron my shirt, but you guys will manage it. Manage it like that. But yeah, so if you want to get detailed information about the differences between perm and contract jobs, click the link to watch a video that I've already done about it. And today I'm going to be looking a lot at my laptop because I want to make sure I've got all the information correct. So since that video has talked about the differences between contracting and perm roles, and I'll give a quick summary. With permanent roles, when you're employed by the company, you have time to learn, right? They also invest in you, especially as a newbie, you have time to learn. Whereas as a contractor, you are seen as an expert in the field and nobody has time to teach you anything. You're coming in there, they're paying you day rates. Yes, you get more money, you get more earnings than you would if you were permanent. But then it comes with the experience, the confidence level, and your ability to deliver as expected with contracting, because you're literally coming there as kind of like a consultant sort of, but you're coming there as the expert and they just expect you to know your thing and to begin work on your first day. And because the companies pay a lot per day, you earn per day, like I would say, depending on the company, I guess maybe 300 to almost up to £1,000 per day. Can you imagine? That's amazing, man. But with permanent jobs, you get between, depending on the level of experience, again, depending on the industry as well, you get around £20,000, depending on the company, right? But generally, it's between 40 to 120k a year, right? Depending on the experience, again, and depending on the company, right? But yeah, go watch that video to learn more about the differences between perm and contracting. And also, before I go into the details of how to set up your contracting company or your limited company, we'll also talk about the different types of contracting. There are two different types, right? But I kind of wanted to talk about my mentees. A lot of my mentees, people that I mentor, are newbies. They're just looking at becoming BAs, or they have their CV ready and they're ready to apply for jobs. But the questions that I get is, should I apply for permanent job or contracting job? And what are the differences, which we already have the video, and will I be able to do contracting job as a beginner, right? Now, I don't have one exact answer because your ability to do contracting or permanent job depends on the confidence that you have in being able to deliver the job. If you feel that you are confident, you've done a lot of courses, right? And you don't have actual BA experiences, but you've had project experience and you feel that you're confident to do business analysis and you feel that you can do contracting, go ahead and apply for contracting and do it and experience it. But the question that they always ask here is that, but the general guide or the general advice is best to go to permanent job as a new starter, because when you're employed on a permanent basis, you're given at least 1 to 3 months to settle into your role. You're not really given high impact or high value projects per se. You generally will have a body, someone that will guide you through, not teach you business analysis, but someone that will guide you through the company, the organization, the people, and the sort of projects. You will also have onboarding, right, which they kind of tell you about the company, what to expect, and do some trainings. Like, there's so much time for you to settle into the role. So for beginners, that's generally best, because you don't want to just jump in to contracting, because day one, you already know about the project and you're already doing business analysis. There's no onboarding, there's no training, because you're there as an expert, right? But anyway, so let's go straight into the video by talking about IR35, right? Which is something that every contractor needs to understand. Yep, let me make this bigger because I'm not wearing glasses. I'm not wearing my glasses. I'm not wearing my glasses because it reflects. I don't know if you watch some of my videos, you don't see my eyes, and I feel like you're not really seeing me properly. But these are my new glasses, by the way. What do you think? I love it. Right, so you need to, every contractor needs to understand what is IR35, right? Is a set of tax rules designed to prevent contractors from working as disguised employees, right? As a permanent staff, you are an employee. As a contractor, you are a contractor. You're not an employee. But IR35 is the tax rules that has been designed by the government so that you don't disguise as an employee or something like that. So this means that if you're working for a company in a way that looks and feels like a full-time employee, even though you are being paid as a contractor, HMRC might decide that you're inside IR35, and I'll explain what that means. And then you need to pay taxes as if you were employed, as if you were an employee. So those are the two types of contracts. They can fall inside IR35 or outside IR35. These are just tax rules, right? Inside IR35 should not be confused with employee or being a permanent staff member, okay? So first, let's talk about outside IR35. And the reason why you will create a limited company is if you are outside IR35 as a contractor. So if you are outside IR35, you're considered a legitimate contractor for real. You're running your own business. You're selling yourself. And outside IR35 is more tax efficient. It's a more tax efficient way to operate because you can pay yourself a lower salary and take dividends, which are taxed at a lower rate, right? I'll explain that. You can also claim business expenses to reduce your taxable income. And you can also retain control over how you manage your business finances, including how you structure your tax payments, right? You're literally running a company. Whereas with inside IR35, now I haven't worked inside IR35 before. I've worked outside. So I've had to do some digging on what the details are with inside jobs. So if your contract is deemed inside IR35, it means that you're treated more like an employee for tax purposes. It doesn't sound right. You might as well just be an employee, right? But even though you're technically a contractor, you're still treated as an employee. So here's what happens if you're inside IR35. For that, you have to pay income tax and national insurance contributions as if you were an employee, right? And you also won't have the flexibility to take dividends. You can't take dividends. Your entire income will be subject to employee taxes. You might have fewer business expenses to claim, but you can still deduct things like travel and insurance, right? So what exactly do you need to do inside IR35 jobs, right? You need to do PAYE, right? If your contract is inside IR, your client or your agency, so you work kind of like the employee of the agency, and the agency is like the bridging the gap between you and the employer or the client. But the client or the agency will likely deduct income tax and NIC, national insurance contributions, directly from your pay through the payee system, which is what they do in permanent jobs. And this means that you get your income taxes. This means that you get your income after taxes much like a permanent employee, That's why I was like, might as well get a permanent job. Another thing you need to do is adjust your salary and your dividends, right? Since you'll be taxed as an employee, you won't be able to take dividends in the same way as a contractor outside IR35 would do. Instead, you receive your income as salary with taxes already deducted. That's literally what permanent jobs do, right? Next, you also want to keep records. Even inside IR35, right? It's still important to track all your income and your expenses. You may still be able to claim certain expenses like travel, office equipment, insurance, but these will be more limited than if you were outside IR35. So there are more expenses that you can claim when you're outside than when you're inside. Another thing you want to do is work with your accountant, right? Obviously, with perm jobs, we don't need to work with accountants, but with IR35, you possibly also need to work with accountants. You want to make sure that your accountant is fully aware if you're working inside IR35, right? This can help you to navigate how to adjust your income, your taxes, and deductions so that you can comply with the law. Okay, it's especially important to keep a close eye on IR35 if you have contracts that could be borderline. Right, so you want to be careful as well. But anyway, this video is really, let's see how many minutes. I've talked. But let's see how many. Let's look at the steps to setting up a limited company, which is what you have to do if you are a contractor outside IR35. You want to set up a limited company, give it a nice name like Pippa.G, Business Analyst, something like that, right? Give it a nice name. But anyway, how do you actually set up a limited company? It does sound intimidating, doesn't it? But it's simpler than you think. And here are the step-by-step. Like I said, number one, you want to choose a company name. Make sure your name is unique. You can check the availability of the name on the Companies House website in the UK. Next, register your company, right? You need to register your company with Companies House. It costs around £12 online. And once you're registered, your company will have its own company number. Now, one thing about registering your company, choosing your name and all that, another way you can do it is first to get an accountant, right? The accountant can then open the company for you. So you can first choose a company name, check in on Companies House, and then get an accountant that will then help you to register the company, save you the hassle. But I'm just breaking the step-by-step things that need to be done, whether you do it yourself or whether your accountant does it, right? So the third thing is set up a business bank account. Accountants can also help you do that, to be honest. So it's essential to keep your business and personal finances separate. You don't want to join it, so I beg, please. So you definitely need a business bank account for all your business transactions. There are so many business bank accounts. I use Tide. I'm not trying to sell the business, sell them. They have not sponsored me. I'm looking for sponsors for my YouTube video. But yeah, you have Tide. I use Tide for my business bank account. Fourth, you want to appoint directors and shareholders, right? If you're running your business solo, then you'll be the director and the only shareholder, the sole shareholder of the company. But if you have partners, right, or the BAs that you want to work under the same company, for instance, you then have to decide how the shares are split, okay? The fifth thing is register for VAT if necessary. You don't have to, but generally you have to register for VAT if your yearly turnover is over £85,000. So you need to register for VAT. And most likely, working as a contractor, you most likely earn over £85,000 if you're earning, say, £500 per day, which is a lot of money. Even if you're below the threshold, some contractors still choose to register voluntarily for VAT, right? The sixth thing is you have to get professional indemnity insurance. You have to get it. It's essential, as it protects you if the client claims for any mistakes or any omissions in your work, right? You don't want to get in trouble, so get insurance. And finally, work with an accountant. You have to work with an accountant. Your accountant can help you to navigate IR35 determinations and also set your company up for maximum tax efficiency. Now, one thing that I need to bring to point is listen to your accountant. Please don't spend more than you're supposed to spend. Don't spend things that you can't claim as expenses. Listen to your accountant, because I know people who have gone ahead to pay themselves too much income and too much dividends, and then when it comes to time to pay your taxes, you don't have the money in there and you're owing a lot of money to HMRC. That's really bad. That's why I said please listen to your accountant. My accountant is really good. I use accountancy partnership, and if any of you sign up to accountancy partnership or Tide, please click the link in description. By the time this video uploads, I will ask them for referral links, so please click my referral link in description. I'll highlight whether it's a referral link or not, because we don't want to be talking about other companies that are not sponsoring our hustle. All right. So that's that one. And also another thing that I do is managing the money coming in. I use Xero. Xero. Click the link in description also if you want to use Xero for your accounting and finance management, right? So with that one, you're able to manage all the money coming in, and then your accountant is also able to see and do all the accountancy stuff. Most accountants also have their own finance management tools that you can use, but I use the one aside the accountant one. Also, another thing I want to point out is when you're registering your company, you need to have an address for it. And obviously you don't want to use your house address because you don't want everybody seeing that, knowing where you live, right? I guess for security purpose. And again, you don't want to sort of link your business address with your house address, so accountants also can provide that for you. They can provide an address for you at a price. So you can use the accountant's address as your business address, or you can find other providers where you can literally just buy a postcode and address that you can use for your company and pay. It's not that expensive, maybe like £12-15 per year or something. It's literally just having an address to attach to your company. But yeah, I need water. I will be back. I'm back. What did I get instead of water? I got apple and elderflower juice. I love it. So nice. So nice. Refreshing. Why is this one? Why are you hanging out? So you see how long my hair is? Every time I wash it, I literally just washed it yesterday. So this is day one hair for people who have natural hair. This is the struggle though. See how long my hair is. But like from day 2, day 3, it starts to like poof out. So that's why sometimes you guys see my hair poofy and you'll be wondering if I wore a wig. The other day I went to, I know I'm talking off point. But the other day I went to do my Nigerian passport. And my hair was like this, a bit more full, and there was fringe. So when I went to sit down to take the picture, and then I was like, do I need to put my hair back? And then the man was like, yeah, remove it. I was like, remove it? No, I'm just going to put it back. Is that okay? He thought my hair was a wig. He thought it was a wig. This is not a wig, oh, this is my natural hair, please. But yeah, and then I put it back, and then he was like surprised because he thought I would just take it off. Like, what the hell? Why would anyone take off their wig for passport photo? Anyway, I digress. Let's go back to the points. Managing your finances. We'll look at some example and also expenses, right? To give you a better idea. So I'll walk through an example. Let's say you're earning £500 per day contract. It's nice, oh. It's nice. Many years ago, in 2019, I got my first contract job. Story for another day, because actually we're only 7 minutes into the video plus the other one. It's gonna be long. Should I tell you the story? But anyway, I got my first contract job. It was 500 per day. Can you imagine? It was nice, let me tell you. It was nice for the time that it lasted. And then my next contracting job, it was a bit less money, but I didn't want to be out of a contract for too long. I think I was on, was it 350 per day? 350 per day, and then the next one after that was also 350 per day, but I was there for a longer period, which was nice. And then pandemic happened, and I was like, hey, let me go back into permanent jobs. So that's how I went back into permanent. I felt more secure, because one thing with contracting is you get short contracts. Generally they start from 3 months, so you're earning £500 per day over 3 months. What happens on month 4 and you don't have another contract? Like, there's just that stress of it. I think I talk about it in the video of permanent versus contract jobs, link to watch. Right. But yeah, I just wanted to have peace of mind. And managing your finances also can give stress, like always checking your accounting software to make sure that you're not taking expenses that don't qualify. Like, it can be stressful, to be honest. But the money is worth it. It's worth the stress. But anyway, coming back, let's say you earn £500 per day contracts and you work 20 days a month. There's 4 weeks in a month, 5, 10, 15, 20 days, excluding the weekend. So that gives you a monthly income of £10,000 before any deductions. Should I go back? Should I go back into contracting? Wow. That's not bad though. Oh, wow. That's £120,000 per year. It's sounding really nice, guys. It's sounding really nice. But let's give that example. £10,000 per month before any deductions, by the way. So paying yourselves, number one, you have to pay yourself in salary as well as dividend. Now, I already mentioned, listen to what your accountant tells you, how much they tell you to take per month, because you're not paying yourself per day. All the salary, all the money that is paid by your clients is paid into your business bank account, right? And once you have a business bank account for HMRC purposes, you can't just be taking money as if it's your personal bank account, okay? So be careful. When the 10,000 comes in, doesn't mean that you are taking the whole 10,000 that month. You have to be careful for tax reasons, and this is why I'm giving you this example. So please pay attention. I don't want you to make mistakes, because I know people that have made mistakes and are owing hundreds of thousands of pounds to the government. You don't want to do that. All right, so number one is you're going to pay yourself in salary and dividends, right? The accountant, a good accountant, most accountants will calculate your payments based on the yearly income. They're not counting it based on monthly. Again, remember, you're not always going to have a job every month as a contractor. Sometimes there's no contract. You might be out of contract for a month. How are you going to pay yourself for that month? This is the reason why you need to pay attention to your accountants. I can't stress it enough. But yeah, so most accountants will calculate your payment based on your yearly income. That's 120,000 per year, not the monthly income, right? In the UK, the personal allowance is £12,520 per year of salary that you can earn before tax, without tax, right? So it means that you can earn up to this amount without paying income tax. So I don't know if that's changed at the time of this recording, right? But this is the knowledge that I know, and also from when I was a contractor. You can pay yourself £12,570 without being taxed. I think that's being reduced to, is it 5,000? I don't know, but please make sure you check do your own due diligence and research. But the most updated figures should be known by your accountant, right? But this is what I know for now. Alternatively, you can also choose a lower salary around 8,000 per year so that you can optimize your national insurance contributions. Okay, so if let's use the £12,570 per year, that's around £1,047 a month that you can pay yourself as a salary that is tax free. Is it? Yeah, You can pay yourself that. So let's say you are earning £12,570 a year. You don't have to pay tax. And you can get £1,047 per month as a salary. And this is also recorded as salary on your business account as well as your accounting software. Okay. Then the rest of your income will come from dividends, right? Are you following me? Right. So after deducting your expenses, paying your corporation tax, you can take the remaining profits as dividends. Okay. So it's not that you pay yourself out of the £10,000 for that month, £1,047. The remaining 8,000 and something is not for you to take everything. You need to calculate the expenses. You need to calculate how much corporation tax that you are paying, and then whatever is left is what is your profit after expenses and tax, is your dividend. But you also need to be aware that dividends are taxed at a lower rate than salary. That's why you don't want to pay yourself more than £12,570 per month, because once you go over that, you are paying a higher tax. So the dividend tax is lower than salary tax, and dividend tax, the basic rate of dividend tax is 8.75%. Are you following me? Yes. So let's look at an example breakdown of that yearly income of £500 per day contract. Do I still have time? This is a long video. So if you're earning £500 per day for 240 days a year, that's 20 days per month, right? After your holidays, we remove holidays as well. That gives you a yearly income of £120,000, right? So out of the 120, you have a salary of £12,570 per year to take, tax-free under your personal allowance. Then you need to take into consideration your corporation tax after expenses. Now, expenses could be things like your accountancy fees, your accountancy software fees, any fees that you're paying. You can charge it to the business as expenses. It's not coming out from your dividend or your salary. Isn't that nice? You can charge transportation, you can charge work phone, you can charge subscriptions, all those various things. That's nice though. It's not coming out from your salary or dividend. Anyway, corporation tax after your expenses, right? Let's say your taxable profit, whatever is left after expenses and salary, is £100,000. The corporation tax is at 19%, so you will be paying £19,000 corporation tax out of 100,000. Then that leaves you with remaining £81,000 as dividends. Are you following me? Because when a lot of numbers are mentioned, you can get lost. You can be writing as I'm speaking. Okay, we're talking money here, so please listen very well. So you can take the £81,000 as dividends, but you also need to remember your dividends are taxed at 8.75% for the basic rate tax payers, right? If you are on basic rates, they have different rates of tax payment, but that's the basic one. If you don't earn, I think if you have to earn like 60 to 100k to be paying more than basic rates. But yeah, so 8.75% basic rate taxpayers, meaning you pay around £7,087 in dividend tax. Now they take corporation tax in every year, so it's not something you pay every month. Okay, and dividend, you don't take the whole dividend in 1 year, right? You take it every month. So that out of that £81,000, let's subtract it from, where's my calculator? Yeah, this should be simple math, so but let's do 81,000 minus 7087. That will give us 73,913 pounds of dividends you can take. You can then split that into 12 months, meaning you can pay yourself. That is a lot of money. That is a lot. You can pay yourself £6,159 £1,047 in dividends, plus, did I say £1,047 per month salary? That was 7,100 and I don't know, but my maths is not the best. Let's add it. Plus 1,047. Yeah, I'm very real with you. You can now pay yourself £7,206 per month. Just think about that for a minute. Let's just think about it. Isn't that amazing? Wow. But anyway, claiming your business expenses is a third point I want to talk about, which is one of the perks of having limited company, right? Is that ability to claim business expenses. And here are some examples of expenses that you can charge to your business. Like I mentioned, travel expenses. Any travel, it's not general travel that you're going to do your grocery shopping on. That's personal. It has to be business related, right? So any travel for client meetings or projects, including the mileage, if you use your personal vehicle, your personal car to drive from here to the client site, for instance, you can charge that as a travel expense to your business. Home office costs. If you work from home, you can claim a portion of your utilities, your internet, as part of those expenses. Office equipment, like I mentioned, computers, laptop. I'm so silly. But computers, phones, softwares, furniture, you can also claim that as business expenses. And professional fees, including your accountancy services, certifications. It's not coming out of your salary or your dividends. You can claim it as business expense, as well as your training courses. And insurance, professional indemnity insurance is an essential expense for contractors. You have to do it. Claiming these expenses, it reduces your taxable profits, right? So you pay less corporation tax if you have more expenses to claim. All right, so be wise. One thing to remember is you want to keep records of all your receipts and transactions. Make sure you keep them. Some tools will allow you to scan the receipts into your business bank account or into your financing software so that you can keep track, because although they don't always check, HMRC might just pick you to check that this is a true expense. You just didn't charge your business, because some people steal from themselves, right? So that they don't pay too much tax. So you could charge your business for a laptop that you didn't actually buy, but you wanted to use the money for something else. That's not wise. When HMRC come knocking on your door and you don't have the receipt, there's going to be fines to pay. All right? So don't be silly with it. Make sure you follow the rules. All right? So what tools are there for tracking your money and accountant's advice? Like I said, I don't really want to talk about it, but if I'm helping you to understand how to create your limited company, I feel that I have to share, but I can only share the ones that I know about and the ones that I actually use that are really good, right? So for your accounting software, so tools like Xero, which is the one that I use. You also have QuickBooks and Free Agent. I've used Free Agent before in the past, but they're all great for managing your business finances. They help you to track your income, your expenses, and even your VAT, right? So many accountants already use these tools, so it makes collaboration easier, because the accountants need to connect into the system. Your bank account needs to connect also with the accounting software so that it tracks everything correctly, and then connects with your accountant so that they can see everything also. Work with your accountant, right? Your accountant is your best friend in this process. You can't do it on your own. All these calculations, they do it for you. They'll help you set everything up, to be honest, so you don't have to stress. And then they'll make sure that you're optimizing for taxes. Most accountants have their preferred tools for tracking, right? And whatever they suggest, I would recommend you go with them, because it just makes the process run more smoothly. So that's my key advice. Always follow your accountant's advice. please and please don't pay yourself more than they tell you to do, and make sure you stick to the salary and dividend structure that they've created. This is all for your benefit. They will make sure everything is legally compliant, and that you're getting the most from your contracting income. So please make sure you're listening. So like I mentioned before, when setting up your limited company, you need to provide a registered business address, right? Again, you can use your accountant's address. Many contractors use their accountant's office address for registering the company. It keeps your personal address private, and it ensures that any legal correspondence is handled by your accountant. So any letters or anything that comes through, it goes to the accountant's address, and they'll tell you that they've received this letter. If they need any information from you, they will get the information from you, right? Or if they need to send you the letter, they'll send it to you. Right. Other options is that you buy, you can use your home address or a virtual office, right? I don't advise using your home address, to be honest, because using your accountant's address, it just makes things simpler. So once you register with Companies House, your company will be official, and you'll receive a company number, which again your accountant will need. So I hope that's helped. That's how to set up your limited company and all the considerations you need to take into it. How to manage your finances, how to claim business expenses to maximize your income as a contractor. So in my next video, I'll talk about finding business analyst contract roles, and how to build a solid network. Please look out for that video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You never know who it might help. Hit the notification bell so that you never miss an update when I upload videos. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.